Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about 15 things you need to know before you end up purchasing the Pegassi Zorrusso supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online. That's right, we're tackling another supercar in this video today. There was a lot of them that Rockstar added in this update, and let's start with the price of the Zorrusso. It's actually not terribly expensive as far as supercars go. It's $1,925,000. It's a two-seater that can be found on the Legendary Motorsports site. It looks like, based off of the website release order, that it could be a couple of weeks, potentially even a couple of months before we see this vehicle officially added into online, but based off of where it's located on the Legendary Motorsports website. So if this is a vehicle you do enjoy, well, you might have to be patient for it to officially release. And in case you guys are wondering what this vehicle is based off of in real life, it's based off of the Italo-design Zorrusso convertible. I'll show you guys some photos on the screen right now of what the real life version of this car looks like and how you can kind of compare to what Rockstar was trying to go for with their version. This is an insanely cool vehicle in real life, and I'm hoping that the version Rockstar added in game is just as cool. So let's begin by taking a listen to the startup sound of this vehicle and also the interior. So let's dive into that right now. So no surprise that a Pegassi supercar sounds really good. The interior looks really similar to the other supercar we looked at the other day, the Progen Emirates. It's kind of like Rockstar just slapped the Pegassi logo on there and called it a day. I wonder if all the other supercars are going to be like that. The big difference here is, by default, obviously, as you can tell, this supercar doesn't have a roof. It is a complete topless variant. So you've got great visibility here, and you can kind of see out of the back window as well. Anyways, let's bring this into the Los Santos custom shop and start to customize it. It has 18 options of customization, which is not a ton, but also not awful as far as supercars go. So there are a few things we'll be able to customize here. Starting with the exhaust options, they're kind of interesting. In fact, one of them is extremely unique, which we'll touch on in a little bit. Some of them give this vehicle like 9 exhaust options, which just looks crazy. And the final one is street setup. This is so cool. It actually completely removes the back bumper. I don't know like what the real life variant of this setup would be called, but I've seen this a handful of times at various car shows and meetups and events, and apparently it's very popular. And it was popular enough that Rockstar deemed to put it in their game as this option right here. So that is the street setup for the Pegassi Zorrusso. Following that, we have a couple of different bumper options that you can change. All of them either add like a carbon fiber splitter or take it away. So some pretty standard options right there. Following that, we actually get to change the grille. You can choose if you want it open or capped off. I think this is the ugliest part of this car, is like the front nose. That, again, is just my personal opinion, but I think it just looks a little bit weird. The rest of the car is absolutely beautiful. From there, you've got hood options. The default one has these 2 big vents. You can make a clean hood, or you can make a streamlined variant. There's actually 2 of those. And then from there, we end up diving into the liveries. And there are some amazing ones for this car. The first one is honestly probably my favorite of the bunch, and that is tricolor. So you can see you've got 3 stripes, green, white, and red of the Italian flag that go all the way up and down the hood and back of the car. I think that just looks awesome. Again, really cool stuff right there. And then you've got black stripe, which is really just as simple as it sounds. 2 black stripes going up and down the car. From there, you've got flow racing, which I actually kind of like. It's this sort of light seafoam blue gradient towards the front of the car. It's like a very light blue with some sponsorships towards the bottom of the door sill. I didn't end up choosing this one for my design, but I actually really like that one a lot. Following that, it is zero gas, which I think looks okay. I like the colors of the zero gas, like the light blue and the red and the black. But this one to me just seemed a little bit funky. I can't really tell if I couldn't really tell if I really enjoyed this one, but that is zero gas. Up next, it's Hinterland. Now, I think this one's okay. I like the Hinterland logo on the side, but I don't really love the camo. Maybe that's just me personally, but I'm not a huge fan of camouflage, especially when it comes to, luxurious supercars like this. That's Hinterland. Lucky Plucker is next, which takes home the award for the weirdest of the bunch today. Well, actually, I lied because there's an even weirder one, but this is like this, bright pink and yellow design right here. Pegasus is up next, and I think this one's okay. It puts like this dark blue color on the bottom, like 10th of the car. And then you've got the Pegasus Concierge logo on the side. I think it looks decent, but it's kind of hard to tell what that symbol is on the door. So I just think it's okay. Following that, it's Ron. I love this one. You sort of get like this futuristic geometric design in the orange. I just think that looks terrific, especially if you were to pair it with like a lighter primary color. That orange would pop really well. So I love that one. The 10th one is Rim Paint. I do like this one too. I can't really describe it for you guys. It's a giant rim paint logo. It's got some stars, and then it's got some like weird sort of diagonal lines going sort of across the back of the car. I don't know. It's interesting, but I do kind of like it. And the final one, again, by far the weirdest one of the day, is Flint Tools Anteater, where you can literally see like 2/3 of the car looks like it's covered in fur. And it's sort of this gradient towards the front. This is just so weird. I don't know why anyone would choose this one, but it's definitely a bit odd. So those are all your livery options right there. Again, you can come up with some really, really fun designs. Let's move on to our colors now. Primary color, pretty obvious. It's going to affect pretty much the entirety of the outside of the vehicle. Your secondary color is going to have an impact on a handful of stuff. It's going to affect the mirrors. It's also going to affect that ring on the tire on the default stock wheels. So as you guys can see there, as we are changing the color is changing as well. And it also changes the engine block color as well, which you can see in the back. So you can't really see a lot of it because for the most part, it's all covered, but that color will change based off of what your secondary color is as well. Now, even though this vehicle does come as a topless variant by default, you do have an option to put a roof on there. Unfortunately, it is not a colored roof. It is a carbon hardtop. So if you do want a hardtop variant, you're going to have to go with the carbon roof. And then from there, we need to move on to spoilers, where there's only a handful. There's the primary ducktail, carbon ducktail, you've got drag wing, GT wing, and secondary GT wing. So not as many as the Progen Emirates as we looked at the other day, but still a handful of options. And as I mentioned earlier, those rims right there are custom. And unfortunately, you won't be able to change them because they are chrome. So you cannot use the iFord app in order to change them. But they do have that really cool ring that goes around the outside, which is something that I like. So moving on outside of the Los Santos custom shop. Now, how do the doors open up? Well, obviously the passenger and the driver's side doors open, and you can open up the hood in the back, which does reveal that beautiful engine block with a nice color on there. So that's why it is important to get that secondary color right. The headlights on this car are cool. It's like these 5 sort of octagon shapes and then one sort of bright bulb. Unfortunately, there's no difference between the normal lights and the brights. They just simply get brighter. My favorite part, though, is the tail lights. It looks like it's a bunch of individual like chips stuck in there. It looks awesome, like it's from the future. So that's pretty cool right there. That is by far and away my favorite part of this car is the back, which is good because I'll be looking at that a lot when I'm ultimately driving it. So what's my overall opinion of the Pegassi Zorrusso? I really like it. There's a couple of things that I can kind of nitpick at this vehicle. I don't love the fact that there's not like a colored painted roof. That kind of bothers me. I also think the front end of the car looks a little bit weird, but everything else is awesome. In my opinion, this is what the Pegassi Reaper should have been in terms of liveries and customization and everything like that. Now, the big test here will be the performance of this vehicle. It isn't priced like a supercar that is going to perform very well if we were just going off of that. But I really did enjoy my experience with the 20 or 30 minutes that I had with this vehicle. But anyways, that right there is 15 things you need to know about the Pegassi Zorrusso. Definitely going to be the most misspelled car of this update. It's definitely awkward to say, and it's definitely awkward to spell. But I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Are you going to be buying this vehicle when it does become available in Grand Theft Auto Online, or are you going to be skipping out on it? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And remember to subscribe if you guys are new or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA 5 casino news, info, videos, and more. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you will always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.